Hello everyone, my name is Corazar, and welcome back to the Vintage Story Guide. We are back in our rainy little home here, where we actually have all 3 pink apple trees growing, which is amazing. And we have 2 out of 3 pear trees, and I have managed to replace this pear tree, well, the dead one, with a possibly live one, and I have a couple more. But that isn't what you're here for. I know, you want to hear me break my legs as I jump down the ledge there. But we are here because last episode we put this set of armor together. And boy, does it look heroic and regal. And we, when we wear it, can feel like the heroes of old who fought back the vile rot and took it to the drifters and, well, died too, I guess, because we had to rebuild this armor and there's no one else who, wears it. Anyway, yep, not sad at all, no. Anyway, today we are going to leave our home for a little while, and I think it's time for us to go and check out the Resonance Archive. Now, we aren't likely to explore it today. I understand it is a pretty big dungeon, and that's one of the very few things that I know about it. I have had to actually put a pause on watching a lot of my favorite YouTubers, like Ashanton and Hippie, because they've gotten to the Resonance Archive, and I don't want to spoil that for myself. I want to experience that as a new player with you guys, because I feel like I really haven't done a lot of experiencing new things with you. I typically have been going over systems and features that I know a lot about, and so I'm rarely surprised by them. I say rarely because I do often forget things, and then I am surprised, but I knew them before and just stopped knowing. So yes, we are going to go to the Resonance Archive, and we're going to kind of make a bit of an adventure of it, because I have spent the last several in-game days prepping for it. One, I was gathering things to sort of prep things around here, like the trees. I also, guess I could have stayed outside. I also harvested all of our crops except for one that is finally ready here. There we go. So all of our crops have been harvested and rotated. We have our flax growing over here. We also have flax growing brand new down in that garden there. And I opted not to fill this one because we just have so many vegetables. It isn't even really worth bothering with. We are just absolutely flush with food. So I'm not super worried. And one of the things that we're going to do is we're going to build ourselves a little home away from home up there, because it is a bit of a hike. To get there, we have to go through our translocator that takes us down here, down to Jasper, and then we have to trek north. And we've been about halfway there from here, so we'll be going probably around or over these mountains, probably around this way. We may need to cross some water, and then continue north all the way up to about here. Now, as I understand, this X isn't exact. Supposedly, the actual entrance to the archives can be anywhere within, I think it's 20 blocks, but that isn't a huge radius, so we'll take a look. Now, there is one thing that I do know about the Resonance Archive that was kind of spoiled for me, and I've since forgotten who it was, so you're off the hook. But I was told that we should not bring bowls and cooking pots with us for food. That we should bring things you can eat with just your hands, like pre-sliced apple pie. So, unfortunately, I'm not going in 110% blind. We're just going in 99% blind. That is the one tip I've gotten, and I'm assuming it's because there aren't many places to put things down there. If that's the case, I'm going to make a few last-minute prep items. I've got all the things that we're going to need to build our house in here. Oh, whoops. You can't see that yet. Sorry. Whoopsie. But we are going to go build a little house and then check out the archive and then probably get things ready by cooking some pies of different kinds and just pre-slicing them, getting them ready. We will have a little cellar. And let's see if that rest of that stack is done yet. Not yet. I've moved our quern down here, as you can see. Not on the fast side, because I didn't want to overstress our system. But, yep, it goes at ×1 speed, basically. It's alright. It gets the job done. So, I'm going to get things ready, pack things up, and then we're going to go for a bit of a hike. And I think what we'll do is I'll record the journey, and then while we're on foot and on the way, I will answer some of your 20 questions. Because every time that I do a 20 question segment, I get a huge influx of more questions, and so it's just kind of a ball that keeps on rolling. It's a good problem to have. Well, I better get to it, so I'll see all of you in the morning when we're about to head out. Alright everyone, the day has come. It's getting kind of late in the morning, but I had to go and despawn a bunch of drifters. And also, I realized I'd forgotten to bring along a bed. So we're going to make a semi-fancy bed. It isn't going to be as nice as our aged wooden bed, but you can make a wooden bed that'll let you sleep for 8.5 hours a day, like this. So, I'm going to go and grab some more food. We're going to eat this pie. It's going to go bad if we don't. There we go. For the road, we're going to bring the pie. We'll also bring these 3 crocs. That's going to give us just enough room, I think. No, it's not. We're going to have to leave something behind. What will we leave behind? I think we'll just eat this piece of pie, and then we'll leave the last 2 pieces behind to rot. And that'll be fine. We're going to bring along a stack of rice flour, because again, I was warned to bring food that we can eat in our hands, so we'll make some pies over there. I do have a saw, so we can make some boards to make a bucket, so we can do that just fine. Let's bring along a stack of parsnips that'll last for a while till we get there, and a stack of pink apples. And that is everything that we have that we can possibly carry. And that includes what is in this chest here. I'm going to put my bowl down and my 3 lanterns. I've made 2 more so we can light our house up when we're there. And let's get this show on the road. Okay. We're moving a little bit slow because of the chest on our backs, but let's get moving, and as we travel, I will answer some of your 20 questions. Alright everyone, it's that time again. Time for 20 questions. You know, these sped up segments are really hard to record because I have to talk really
low and slow.
Otherwise, my voice gets all
sped up and sounds like a chipmunk.
If anyone has a better way of doing this, let me know. I'm all ears. Anyway, without further ado, let's dive into the questions. Our first question is once again from the real President John F. Kennedy. Where do you hope to see your life in 5 or 10 years? I definitely see myself on a beach sipping margaritas, happily retired and independently wealthy, well before I turn 50. Okay, maybe that's not realistic. Coming back down to earth, I'm kind of hoping to stay steady. I've got a solid day job, and while it's not the most exciting thing in the world, I'd like to keep it. I wouldn't mind having a book or 2 published, and through a traditional publisher, not self-published. If the channel really starts to take off, I could keep going here, whether in Vintage Story or some other game or games. Wizard asks, what are you thinking of naming your hobbit hole in this series? You know, I've been mulling that over in my head, but I'm a little stuck. I thought it would be fun to carry forward the Lupine moniker, but I'm not sure what really fits. Lupine Shire? Lupine Hill? Lupine Dell? I'll ask all of you. What kind of name do you think fits our hobbit hole? Tricky asks, what are your thoughts on the liminal spaces created on block game servers where players build thriving towns and then quit en masse, creating huge ghost cities? I haven't really played on a lot of multiplayer servers where it was more than just myself and a few friends. While each of us often would go build huge builds and abandon them, it wasn't like we were often visiting each other's homes anyway. We all kind of played on the server in a together but apart kind of way, and we'd really only meet up once in a while to do specific challenges. Our next question is from Awa. Are there any features that you don't want added to Vintage Story? This is a really open-ended question, considering there are a huge number of things I wouldn't want, like rocket ships, cyborgs, witchers, Pokemon. But realistically speaking, I think the biggest thing I wouldn't want to see is too much automation. Automatic farms like the ones you see in that other block game just don't fit the vibe in Vintage Story. So keeping automation to semi-realistic levels and maintaining player interaction with systems is pretty important to me. Long Von Silver asks, how do you feel about the current selection of colors and materials in Vintage Story? For the most part, I'm pretty happy with it. There are a few things I'd like to see at some point, but they're not enormous priorities. While the color selection isn't highly saturated, that's part of the charm of this game, really. That being said, I think it would be really neat to be able to craft our own custom cloth objects like carpets, tapestries, and curtains using the vibrant colors available to us with the dyeing system in order to make brightly colored decorations for our homes. Stretchy asks, what made you decide to start doing these 20 questions segments? There were a couple reasons I started these. One was that some people early on were asking questions in comments, especially repeated questions, and I wanted to have a place to answer them once and then refer people to these segments. Second, I wanted to inject some more interactivity with you guys, and what better way than to make your questions part of the series. And third, a couple creators that I watch, particularly Waddles, does question answering segments with their own audiences, and I enjoy this quite a bit. Papa Gionu asks, what are you most looking forward to seeing in Vintage Story in future updates? From a feature perspective, I'm particularly interested to see more storyline dungeons and other features. I would also like to see some kind of ability for the player to shape the world on a larger scale. In particular, the ability to gain some level of control over temporal stability and rifts that go beyond a clunky, noisy rift ward. Cedric Carr asks, what are your thoughts on Starfield, and does it seem like something you'd find yourself playing in the near or far future? I haven't actually kept up too much with what's going on in Starfield. It looks like a fun game overall, but it might not make my list just due to the sheer number of games that come out every month, every week, and seemingly every day. White Tiger asks, and I'm paraphrasing this one, what are some of your favorite characters and moments from playing D&D? Oh boy, I could go on for hours with this one, so I'm going to give you one of each to keep it brief. No promises it'll still be brief though. I have a few favorite characters, but I'll go for just one right now. My first character love is Blade Master Kair Stellarovim. Yep, that's my avatar. Nope, that's not Corazar. This is Corazar, but I liked Kair better as an avatar. Kair was an elf Blade Master, a homebrew class that my DM let me playtest for the better part of about 2 years. We tweaked the class as we went along to balance it the entire way from levels 1 to 20. He was sort of the indomitable soul type of character who cared deeply about his role in protecting the world and his loved ones. My favorite moment that I can think of right now was actually in a different game. I was co-DMing with a friend, same one who ran the previous game with Kair. Together, we swapped roles every couple sessions, and we each had characters, Marath and Perion Davok, identical Dark Elf twins. We worked together to craft a story for the other players, using these brothers to assassinate members of the aristocracy and reveal their crimes against the populace. Murder, magical and medical experimentation, slavery, and so on. Anyway, the other players thought the game was about chasing these assassins, but the whole plot turned around when they realized the assassins were helping the party to discover the horrendous acts going on in Regal City's government and the upper class. See, we were part of the party, but always in disguise. Since we were identical twins, we disguised ourselves as the same person and acted like we were just passing the same character back and forth, depending on who was the DM. We even had a fake character sheet to do that with. In reality, whichever brother belonged to the current DM would be out and about, doing stuff behind the scenes to push the plot along, and sometimes making an appearance as a mysterious assassin to push the party in the direction we wanted to go. Finally came the big reveal. During a tense moment, when the government got a whiff of the party's activities, their hideout was assaulted. The other DM and I decided this was the right time for a reveal, and during the combat, my character's disguise fell apart when he narrowly dodged attack, split his wig down the middle. Cue the other DM's character tumbling into the room after being attacked while hiding in a nearby room. There was silence around the table for a solid minute as the implications sank in. Then came howls and laughter and accusations as they put the ploy together and realized they'd been working for and with the assassins they had been chasing all along. The party stuck together and went on to topple the regime and install a new government while they went and started mopping up all the bad people doing terrible things to innocent non-humans. I have a lot more stories to tell, and I'd love to tell them, but I don't want this segment to go on forever. So, if anyone wants to hear some more wild and crazy D&D stories and characters, feel free to ask this question again. Chaba Tai asks, what do you think about Baldur's Gate 3? I've only gotten to play about 10 hours of Baldur's Gate 3. So far, I think it's pretty fantastic. It's smooth, well-written, well-acted, gorgeous, and reasonably faithful to most of the D&D 5e rules, although I'm not familiar with them myself very much. I think there are some exploits that I want to see patched out, like the ability to send everything you find back to camp and spawn Eiffel Tower-sized stacks of boxes being one. One feature that I actually miss from the older Baldur's Gate games is a day-night cycle. Granted, it wasn't all that impactful in the older games, but I was thrown off by the seemingly eternal daytime. Alright everyone, that concludes our 20 questions segment for the day. I hope you enjoyed my answers to your questions, and if you have any more to ask, please do so with the 20 questions hashtag. Including your question with the hashtag will ensure that I answer your question in a video, but do please keep it to one question per 20 question segment, and I will try to let you know if I receive multiple questions in case you forget. Anyway, it looks like we're about here, so let's get back to the game. Well, folks, we made it so far. I looked at the map and looks like we are just about here, with the unfortunate reality that it looks like this is somewhere in the mountains. So what I don't know is whether we need to bore into the mountain to find it, or if we should go up top. And if we need to go up, well, I might freeze, actually, because we did not bring warm clothes. And so, yeah, I'm not quite sure what to do there. I think what we'll do is I'm going to dig a little cubby, little hole in the side of the mountain here, and we will sleep the night. And then in the morning, we'll head up the mountain first and see if there's anything up here in what looks to be this glacier ice. And then if not, then we'll come down and figure out what to do. Maybe dig through the mountain to get there. Once we know where the entrance to this place is, or how to get into it, we'll be able to figure out where to put our temporary home. So I'm going to get digging and lay down in bed and rest my weary head. Ooh, it is negative here. I'm actually going to find some place that's a little more stable temporarily. And so I'll see all of you in the morning when we are ready to scale this mountain. Alright, good morning, folks. We are here, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. We are in our little tiny cubby where I have put down our mysterious chest from our back. So we're going to leave this here for now until we determine that this is a place we need to be. And I have put a wooden trunk here, which is one of the ones I was carrying with me. And I put most of our gear in here. And before we go on, I will explain what we have here. I did bring a temporal gear. I want to use this to set our spawn once we've determined where our house is going to go, or our home away from home. And I've also brought along things like our tuning spear in case we come across any locusts, although I don't want to use it on the sawblade locust. I just want to see if we can get any other locusts to fight with us. And then we have some clay ovens for baking our pies, tools, and lots of bandages. We have almost 3 stacks of bandages, so we are good to go. I can leave you there too, and probably you. I think 3 meals is good enough to take us up and down this mountain, so we're going to do that. I'm going to block this back up because we do have food in there, and I'm going to mark this spot. I had to come around to the west side of the mountain. Yes, it was very negative all the way up to about there, and then it suddenly got very positive. And is that? That's like limestone or chalk mountains, isn't it? Wow. Okay. Well, let's see about clambering up this here hill and see what we can make of this. I think what I'll do is let's get up here first. There we go. We can get up this way. Gets us a bit higher. And can I make this jump? I can't make the jump if I flood the controls. Try this again. No. Okay. In that case, let's just make a little bridge across to there. And this is where we'll start our real ascent. And we will use... Let's use these ladders so that we can pick them back up if we decide we don't want to. Well, you know what? We can also pick up the other ladders by just breaking them beneath us. So let's just do that. Because we'll be coming back down this way if that's the case. So, yeah, up we go. I'm going to make this just a straight up path so that we don't have to worry about trying to find the ladders again. And I'm probably going to mark this on our maps as well. Or our maps. My map. Not your map. Hands off my map. And okay, we are... I guess we could have gone over to this part of the mountain. Ooh, hello. Hello. Hey, I know what this is. So this can happen sometimes where you might see a little nodule of quartz sticking out. And if you do, it generally means that there are crystals inside. I'm going to mark our ladder location first. So yeah, while we're here, let's stop and see if this happens to be a bunch of quartz crystals or not. Because usually it is. Hey, look at that. All right, we even got one broken already. Nifty. Yep. Neat little trick. If you're in mountains and you see quartz blobs sticking out, probably quartz crystals. Neato. Alright, back with the mission. Let's get up here, back up here, and straight for the rift. Let's go straight across here. This is probably a good spot to go. And maybe we should have like started our home in that temporal gear first, just in case I fall. Okay. And once again, we'll probably put a little... Well, I can see the bridge from here, that's fine. I can see it on the map, too. Check it out. Alright, let's get rid of some of this nonsense, because I want to be able to see the ground. Apocalyptic, of course it is. How else would this place welcome me? We must be getting close. Ooh. Now, there could be bears up here because it's cold. So we could find polar bears up here. So I'm going to kind of go around, keeping my ears peeled. There it is. We have found it. We have found it. We have glacier ice beneath our feet. We have quartz high in the mountains. Look at that. This is the first time I'm seeing this that's not in a screenshot from, like, the title screen of the game. Oh, man. That's a different kind of stone. Aged granite bricks. Wow. Not a bear in sight. Shh, don't jinx it. I kind of don't want to go in yet. I feel like crossing this threshold would be a bad idea. Plus, we kind of spoil the whole mystery of it. We went in without our armor on. We're just wearing our purple gear. Ugh. We need to gear up and look the part. Now, is that a chiseled item, or is that like an actual sculpted, modeled item? I think it's chiseled. Look at the aliasing on the rope there. But that is cool looking. And what is that? Some kind of wild, like, iron rust lines in the rock there? Okay. These doors. This door cannot be opened by hand. Okay, good to know. Can I break them? Oh. I don't want to try. I'd feel really bad if I broke that. Okay, well, now that we know that we are here, it is time for us to set up camp a little bit. And let's get back down to safety. Well, I mean, we're safe here, but safety of the floor below, the ground below. And let's take a quick stroll around to see what kind of spot we can find for building a little house. And by little house, I do mean the hobbit hole. I am kind of feeling like, let's see, is it still stable over here? Yes, it is. Okay. In that case, let's make this little hole here, this little hill, our home. And we'll probably expand it. Hey, there's peat too. Oh man, this is a great place. Also, I suspect this dungeon thing must be huge because my frame rate is in the garbage right now. What am I running at here? 90. I usually run at 120 frames. We're averaging a very shaky 60-ish right now. So yes, we are somewhere with a lot of geometry going on. Oh boy. So let's get clearing here. I'm going to take down some of this stuff. Get rid of this junk. Oh, there's another little log here. We'll use that for starting a fire, our very first fire. And yeah, let's just dig this out. And we'll talk about what kind of materials I brought right now, actually. So, I brought along a few materials with us. That's right, I brought along some of the mysterious greenstone. I wanted to see if we could make a good-looking build using peridotite or peridotite, depending on who you ask. I think the official pronunciation is peridotite, but, you know, for good old Dwight, we need the peridotite. I also brought along kapok, because it's a nice yellow color that I think would go well with the peridotite. Peridotite. green rock, and some limestone as a neutral color, and then some slate roofing for a nice dark roof on top. Now, we are going to build a little hobbit hole, so a big roof we're not going to have, but I think for like the front, we are going to have a little hobbity holy roof. And I'm going to leave this junk here for now. We'll come back here and get this later, but for now, we will leave that. Actually, I'm going to put our food in there for the time being, just to help keep it fresh a little bit longer. And let's go build our house. Okay, it's not too bad so far. We're going to do a small little 6x6 room here. It'll be a single room house, but with a small cellar. And we're going to need, we're going to need some tools. Let's bring along our hammer, our chisel, our saw. We'll bring along these guys, everything for building. And the rest of you can stay here for the time being, and we'll bring you as well. Okay, so our first problem is going to be entrance and egress. We need some doors. And we're going to do K-Pock doors. It's going to be K-Pock everything here. And let's get these in place. Dirt, go back there. Let's see, I want you right here. And I want you guys right here. There we go. And then over these doors, I think I want to kind of dig out a little bit around here, just a little bit, and get some of this slate roofing in. Now, it doesn't insulate. That's okay. I don't really need this place to be a super warm, fuzzy place. That might actually be all of the slate roof we really want to use. I don't want to get too crazy with it here, but maybe a little bit right here too. Yeah, let's do that. So we are now relatively safe in here, which means we can go ahead and start building what we want to build. I want to do, of course, K-Pock floors, since K-Pock everything here. And we're going to take up this floor and put down a new one. All right, floor in place. Let's see, limestone rock. I brought some unchiseled limestone so we can play with it as far as bricks and stuff goes. I do think I want to do some of the greenstone in like a ring around the base of this. So we have 6, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We have 20 that we need to do here. We're going to do a ring right around the base here. Very nice, very nice. And then for the walls, I want to do probably mostly chiseled peridotite that we have to save on cost there. Let's get you taken up. Here we go. So we'll have a little bit of patching to do outside, but that's okay. So there is that, and then the ceiling is going to be mostly limestone. And there we go. We have a basic little house here. We are not done yet, but I think I'm going to put our bed down and we'll probably sleep through the night. I'll see all of you in the morning as we set out to detail our little hobbit hole here. And I kind of want to see if we can get some kind of windows going on too. We might sort of dig a little side out of this hill here and fit some windows in for some natural light. But I'll see all of you in the morning as we are getting ready to detail our house. All right, good morning, folks. It is pretty bright and early. Well, early, I suppose. Hello. This is my house, did you know? I'm going to go ahead and just fill this in here. Hide all of this limestone. And you know what? I think what we'll do here is we might actually dig into our stash of sod roofing a little bit, just to kind of get a little bit more. Yes, a double roof on there. Perfect. And hello, you as well. Let's also do that right here. Just get a little bit of this sod roofing going on. Yeah, we'll leave it like that. And we could maybe do like a little bit here too, just to kind of like move that up a little bit. What do you have underneath you? No, we're going to leave you alone, I think. If I was feeling dangerous, and I think I am, I could take this up like so, and we could actually pop this out here, give ourselves an even deeper overhang with our secondary roof down there. And then that would give us a little bit of an opportunity to do a couple across here like this. Fill this in with some dirt. And voila, a little hobbit hole. Now we could also maybe sort of dig this back a little here. Maybe take this part down a tiny bit here. Yeah, how about this side? Must you? Really? I'll do a bit of that. No. My house. I guess I'll be dealing with them soon for making meat pies. Yes. Okay, so details. I want to get... Hello. I want to get a little chimney in here. So we are going to actually tear this little bit out again. There we go. And we are going to use actually some cobblestone as the backing for this. Give it that sort of fire-cracked look to it. There we go. And then we'll dig out this here and finish up our chimney like so. And we will, let's see. Let's do a little bit of this. That will be our chimney. And then I think right here we'll have some more of this. And here as well. We're not going to cover this part up. This needs to be exposed so it can radiate heat out. And we'll also put this here as a bit of a hood, and I'll come through with a chisel and kind of knock this back so we don't have this sort of huge overhang here. Maybe we should do this too. Let's take out this. And this, and you, and you, and we'll cobblestone you guys in as well. And this is where, here you are. This is where our clay ovens will go. We'll tuck one there, we'll tuck one there, and we can pretend that their heat and smoke is going out this way and up the chimney. And then we can come in here with a bit of grass to start our cooking fires, like so. I think we even have some wood. Here we are. Nice. This is starting to shape up, except for you. You can put your head on the wall. Okay, for this doorway, I think I am going to move these out a block. So we're going to do this, and I guess, you know, we'll put one more out here. A bit lopsided, but you know what? I kind of like the asymmetrical look going on here. And then we'll rehang you here for now. And we will cover this back up. So we actually have a nice looking wall with the back of that slate roofing to look at. And then here's where I want to come through with the chisel and the hammer. And let's get some, let's get some bricks going on. And we're going to add these bricks in all around here. What we'll do is we will just come in here with this, and we'll start a ring of these bricks. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back through and identify the edges of the brick textures. And we're going to follow those textures. like so. So we have sort of a nice, messy looking door frame here, where we are following all of the brick textures as if we had really sealed in this brick around this trim here. Now on the exterior, I think what we might do is I might just kind of turn these all into full limestone blocks on the outside, because we don't have a lot of the green showing, so I think it might look a little funny. So yeah, I think we can do that. And maybe even, do we take out this dirt here and just have this nice, ugh, ugh, urgh, urgh. Tell you what, let's do a little more of that. Yeah, I think that works pretty well. And then on the inside we have this. And let's do it over here too. There we go. There's our back door and our front door. And I even added a little bit of a sort of a keystone kind of thing over top, even though it isn't really a keystone. I just thought it'd help to sort of break up that regular square pattern a bit. I could even go maybe one block more on both sides. Yeah, let's try it. So there's that one. And then over here is pretty well done already. Okay. Neat. And I might kind of come in here and do a similar thing around this. After we kind of carve out some of this as a bit of a hood first. Let's get that going on. And there we go. And yes, I do think we need to do the brick here as well. Just on the sides here, I think is perfect. So let's get a few more of these going on. And there we go, a limestone lined fireplace. Not too shabby. Now, I am thinking that probably over here is where I might want to punch out a bit of space for a window, and maybe even like here as well. So let's see what it looks like on the other side. Do we have just dirt to deal with here? If we're just dealing with a little bit of dirt, yes. Yes, we're just dealing with some dirt. So let's take this out and that, and probably even... do we show this much of the house or not? Maybe we do, but not quite the whole way. Let's tuck a couple more roof blocks here. Yes, like that. And then we can keep hiding this here with the lovely soil. And we'll have a bit of a green area back here. That's fine. Now right here, this needs to become a green rock block. Let's get that. And then let's put in a bit of a window. There. Now over here, I'd kind of like to have a bigger window, but I don't want to overdo it. So let's just see what we have going on here. How far do I need to go to find daylight? There, okay. Maybe we can do like a window well instead. Oop, hello. Where is this? Here you are. Or maybe we could... maybe we could go the whole way here and do a bit of this. And use some more of our sod roofing right along here. Oops, not like that. And then we can place our windows down right here, like so. And now we have a little view of the outside. At least on two sides, and that's enough. I think that should be plenty. I brought overkill windows, but that's okay. All right, so that brings us to how to arrange everything here. I think we're just going to do our bed here, our storage pretty much where it is. I'm going to go and bring over our other stuff, and then I'll see all of you when we are settled in here and ready for some adventure. Alright everyone, we are moved in and ready to rumble. I put our lanterns right outside the door here, that way they illuminate a larger outdoor area while still providing enough light indoors. As you can see, we have decent light in here. And I set up a new armor stand right here, put our armor on it. And I have dug a little tiny cellar for storing a few odds and ends. And yes, we are not going to get as good of a boost in spoil timers for things like grain and veggies, but for everything else, it's basically the same as being in any other cellar and anything else, so it's fine. Now, I do have concerns. I don't know how much treasure there is to find in Yon dungeons, but I'm hoping this is enough space. I also don't know if we can carry it all home with us. Oh yes, you'll be coming with me into the dungeon in, well, one form or another. But yes, I am going to spend probably a day around here. One, because I'm kind of expecting a temporal storm here soon. It's been like 8 or 9 days. And I don't really want to be venturing right before one of those hits. The other thing is I need to go up here and knock out a few trees because I didn't bring a lot of wood for doing campfires. I don't want to use the kapok wood. One, because we don't have a ton of it back home, and I want to bring whatever we don't use home. And also, when you chop it into firewood, you only get 3 logs, not 4. So you're kind of just wasting material there. But the last thing we ought to do here is let's go ahead and we're going to set our spawn right here. Whoa, that's shaky. That's a lot shakier than I recall it being. But there you go. If we die, I hope we don't, but if we do, we will respawn right here. And that, my friends, as well as our sheepy friend poking her head through the door here, is the tale of how we adventured out to find the Resonance Archive and built our little hobbit hole, temporary one, near our destination. In the next episode, get ready for sweaty palms time because I am a little nervous. I don't know what to expect, and I get a little nervous going into big caves like this and big adventures for the first time, kind of like doing certain travels dimensionally in certain other block games for the very first time, and defeating certain dragons for the first time. But that will be next episode. We are going to go into the Resonance Archive. I don't know if we'll finish it in one episode, but I guess we'll see. But until then, as always, my name has been CarryOn. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.